Welcome back to the CoolFigurez channel. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Neca toys, an American Werewolf in London, Ultimate Nightmare Demon. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel's all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunting them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. If that's your sort of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you stay notified when I do upload new videos. And if you guys do enjoy this video or any other content that I put out, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow, and it's free and easy for you to do. With all that being said, once again, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Neca toys, an American Werewolf in London, Ultimate Nightmare Demon. Now, I do have to preface this review by saying I have not seen this movie. However, I have looked up the scene that these guys are in because I wanted to see them in action and get basically the whole premise behind these guys. And so I have actually watched a few YouTube videos on an American Werewolf on London leading up to this review just to have a little bit of background knowledge on it. And so, to be honest, even with what I saw, I kind of don't know where these guys fit into the whole storyline. I think he literally just has a nightmare and these guys pop up out of nowhere because of his mind's being all fucked up and crazy. But the second Neca announced these guys and showed them off, I absolutely knew I had to have them because they're Nazi demons essentially, and come on, they're just the ultimate bad guy for some of your characters and figures to fight up against. And since them being Nazi demons, they're totally just perfect army builders to fit into all sorts of different franchises. So when they announced these guys, I knew I had to have them, and on top of that, they come with 4 head sculpts, so you definitely can get a variety of looks and feels from these guys. So that's one of the reasons why I picked them up. And so the way I found these guys is I was actually up in San Francisco. I went up for a concert, and on my way home I stopped at the only Walmart up there for miles, and it was actually the last stop we were going to make before we finally just said let's just head on home and drive until we can't drive no more, or just get home first. And lo and behold, I walk in and I go all the way to the electronics section, and of course there's 3 of these guys. I do have 2 of them here pictured because I have decided to return the 3rd, because I really wanted to use these guys with my Doc Knock, but they don't scale too well, so I'm going to have to figure out where I can use these guys and who I can use them with and who they're going to scale better with. But I will definitely be using them, although I'm still torn if I'm going to return the 3rd one or not, to be honest, because as much as I don't know where I'm going to use them, I think display wise they'll look a lot better if I have, say, this guy in the middle and another Nazi guy like this on his other side, and this guy's more like the general and whatnot. But it is what it is. We'll see how it goes and what I decide. But yeah, guys, if you didn't notice, I do have the box in this review. I don't normally bring the box and packaging out unless it is really cool, and as you can see, it is really cool. It is a holographic background, or it is a holographic image, which is why it looks a little blurry on camera right here. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how cool it looks with it being a whole holographic image. And the last holographic image cover that they did for an Ultimate was the April O'Neil ones, and I do like that they're starting to go into this path, or in this direction, because the Ultimates are starting to cost a little bit more, which means, you know, you're gonna want to get a little more for your money as well. And in terms of the figures, you're really not going to, because figures are figures, they're kind of set. However, they can up the packaging. However, how much that affects the price, I don't know. But regardless, these guys were about $36 a piece with taxes and everything. But they do come with a lot of stuff. So talking about all the stuff that they come with, let's go ahead and talk about all the stuff that they come with. So first and foremost, they do come with 4 alternate head sculpts. This one being the one that comes in the box on the actual body. I don't really know what to call it except like a zombified, or no, I think the box has it right, just like a demon Nazi, really. That's really all I can say. This helmet is removable, but you have to be super careful because this little strap felt like it was going to break the entire time I attempted to do it, but I was able to remove the helmet, but once you remove the helmet, you do have a notch in the back of the head right here. So keep that in mind if you don't want to see that notch, and you don't want to go through the whole process of removing the helmet and then, you know, seeing that notch there, because yeah, I'm afraid. Oh, there we go. This one actually came off a lot easier than that one, but as you can see, there's that notch that attaches right there. But yeah, here's a look at this head without the helmet. So it does have some detail over where the helmet covers, but it doesn't have as much detail as the front of the face. So to get the helmet back on, we're just going to slip the chin forward in first and then pop it back. And then just plug it in right there. And the helmet is back. So the next head sculpt that we are going to take a look at is the one that this guy is wearing right here, and it is my second favorite head sculpt that that these figures came with, and it is this wolf looking head sculpt, as you can see. So it is an American werewolf in London, so it makes sense that at least one of these would be a werewolf looking head sculpt. So next up comes what I call the Jason head, because it kind of does look like Jason Voorhees without his mask, you know, so it looks very similar to him in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, this one's a little more on the creepy side, whereas these ones are more on like the monster side. This one's just more on the creepy, unsettling side. So the last one that we're gonna pull up is what I'm dubbing the meth head, because it literally just looks like somebody that'd be on meth. I mean, he literally has flesh ripped from his face right there. Like, that's exactly what somebody on meth would do if they were like really on meth. So yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not too big of a fan of this head sculpt or this head sculpt, because those two are more of the unsettling. Like, this thing is fucking scary, creepy. Like, if a human being came up to me and he looked somewhat similar to this, I'd be fucking scared. So, you know, like, I don't know, those two head sculpts are just very unsettling to me personally, but I do prefer these two head sculpts on these guys. They just look a little more awesome, a little more demonic, more monster-like, whereas these ones are more like, this one's more like serial killer, and this one's more like Jason Voorhees without his mask. So that's just my opinion, but these two head sculpts are really cool, especially this wolf one. I think it looks really cool, and this one that comes on the body, this demon one, that just fits it perfectly, which is why it comes with it in the body, in my opinion. But in the movie, you do get all four of these guys, so Neca gives you the option. If you don't want to hunt down four of these guys, you can just mix and match and just put whatever head sculpt you want on there. So continuing on with the rest of the accessories, because this guy does come with a lot of accessories, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the torch. This thing is super cool, as you can see. It is super well done and detailed. I absolutely love it. You can see some more detailing right here on the wood handling. You can see kind of like where it's been gripped and whatnot. So a lot of detail, as always, from Neca. Next up, we're going to go ahead and take a look at all the weapons that these guys come with. So first up, we're going to take a look at the Bowie knife that they come with. So each of these guys comes with one clean Bowie knife and one bloodied Bowie knife right there. So you can have either or both in each hand. Next up, we're going to have a Mac 10, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I am not a weapons expert. So yeah, I believe this is a Mac 10 though. And the one gripe that I do have with this figure is its accessories. Not the fact that they're not accurate or anything like that, but the fact that they're so thin in terms of the plastic. Like, look how small and thin this is right here. Like, literally, I feel like if I just put a little more pressure, it's gonna snap right off. So you have to be super careful. This part right here is a bit of a softer plastic, so it moves and you can move it around and put a little more pressure and whatnot and not have to worry about it. But the one thing I did notice about getting these weapons in and out of their hand, which is key, and if you watch any part of my review, I say this part is the most important, because if you don't listen to this part, you may end up breaking your figure. So the way to get these in is you turn them sideways and then flip them in, and it's fine if the hand's on the body, but to get them out, you're gonna want to pop the hands off and then remove them, because this part will want to hit the arm on the inside, and if it does, it will snap off. So you gotta be super gentle and super careful. So the next gun that we're gonna take a look at is the Uzi that they come with. As you can see, this guy's holding it, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm gonna try to turn him sideways. But as you can see, this little part right here at the butt of the, the butt of the stock is kind of right behind his arm, his forearm, his wrist, right there. Well, guess what? When you try to turn it sideways to pull it out, it's gonna hit it, and if you push hard enough, it will snap off, because it is a very thin plastic. These things are ready to break. That's the best way I can describe them. These things are ready to break. The most durable accessory in this set has to be this torch. It feels durable, it feels heavy, it has a decent weight to it, whereas these guns feel so thin and light. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest, because I'm actually afraid if this guy takes a tumble forward, he's just going to snap that gun in half. But talking about that gun, we have it right here. It is basically what the Nazis would use in World War II. So sticking with the whole Nazi thing on this Nazi or nightmare demon guy, I think that we're just trying to avoid the word Nazi, to be honest. But anyways, guys, so that is all the weapons and the accessories that they come with. Once again, with this weapon, you're going to want to pop the hand out and take it out that way, so that way you don't try pushing this butt stock or stock, like I said, guys, I'm not a weapons expert, up against his arm too hard and then snapping it in half. So yeah, guys, that is all the weapons and accessories that he comes with. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the hands that he comes with. So the one hand I can't show you because they're both utilizing them is the trigger finger hand. Now, the one gripe I have, or I guess not the one gripe, I guess the second gripe I have with this figure is that they don't come with enough hands. And I know they come with 4 head sculpts, but to be honest, these guys suffer from lack of hands. They should have came with open grip hands, so that you can make them look like they're trying to grab someone like that. They should have came with right and left trigger finger hands, which they didn't. They should have came with right and left torch holding hands, which they didn't. But they did come with right and left knife holding hands for some odd reason, and they didn't even come with fisted hands. So a lot to be left on the table, a lot to be hoping for and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, they do both come with one right-handed trigger finger. They come with one, let me see if I can get it right here, medium size open torch hand or holding hand, so you can just slide the torch in right here, because their hands are pretty stiff, guys. Like, you're not going to be able to pry them open too easily, although I was able to pry this one open to put the torch in there, but in doing so, it is no longer going to be able to hold the knives because it has been widened by the torch. So like I said, you do get a right and a left knife holding hand right there. There's the right. So I actually thought I had a left sword holding hand or knife holding hand, but he's actually using it, and so is he. So yeah, so just know they come with a pair of knife holding hands. So a pair of hands like this for your right and your left, and then only one torch holding hand and one trigger finger hand, and both the torch holding and the trigger finger hand are both right hands, which is why I said I really wish they would have came with right and left trigger finger hands, because I really like this stance right here, but in putting the torch in this hand, it no longer will hold the knife. It's just been widened and stretched out too much by the torch. So yeah, guys, with that being said, that is all the accessories that these guys come with. So why don't we go ahead and pull one of these guys forward, probably this guy right here, and we'll go ahead and take a closer look at the body uniform, since we've already taken a closer look at all the head sculpts, and then we'll go ahead and move on into articulation. So yeah, guys, it's basically your typical Nazi looking military uniform. I mean, it's not exactly Nazi, but it's also not exactly not Nazi, so it's close enough to where you know what it is and you know what kind of evil it represents. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation. So the one thing I did notice about this figure from Neca is it did not need a blow dryer or a hot water bath. So that's really good on Neca's part. That's getting better. He can look all the way to the right, all the way to the left. He can look down that far. He can look up that far, which is, whoops. Which is basically just straight back. Which is basically just straight back to you, because if not, your head's going to pop off. So as you can see right there, I don't think I've actually got it to snap in yet, to be honest. I think that's why his keeps popping off. But as you saw, his articulation is still pretty decent, especially for considering he has all this hair sticking out to the side. Obviously no tilt or wobble swabble, because if you do, it pops off. His arms do go out all the way so that you can get a nice T-pose. They do spin 360 at the shoulder right there. You do get a single hinge elbow joint that goes to there, and you do get rotation at the elbow. Looking at his wrist articulation, they do rotate 360, and you do get hinging in and out. You also get in and out hinging on the other wrist. You do get waist rotation right there. In terms of split action, they can actually join the cheerleading squad. Wow, Neca is really hitting it out of the park with their figures lately in terms of joints and stuff. He can kick forward that much. He can bend his knee that much because it is only single hinge, so it's not even 45 degrees. You do get rotation at the knee right there, and you do get ankle articulation down that far, ankle articulation up that far, and ball rocker hinge joints right there. So all in all, a typical Neca ultimate, but you do get some really good articulation with this guy. But at the same time, he's also hindered by the single hinge joints, such as the elbows and the knees. I really wish his elbows were double jointed, but it is what it is. But like I said, I did buy these guys specifically for army building purposes and for crossover toy photography purposes, and I still think they're going to do exactly that very well. And I do love all the accessories that they come with, especially these torches. They can definitely be used in other toys and other franchises and whatnot, so super happy with these guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some really creepy photos I took of these guys, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at CoolFigurez, and I do have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Check it out if you like what you see. Leave me a follow there as well. If you guys want to see the unboxing of these figures or any other toys I do reviews on for this channel, go ahead and check me out on TikTok at CoolFigurez, because that's where I do all my unboxings. And join me every Sunday morning for Coffee and Toys, a weekly toy news, toy talk podcast where we will go over all the latest and great toy news, reviews, pre-orders, and so much more. With that being said, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. But whether or not you're a subscriber, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really do appreciate it. As always, I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you so much to this channel sponsor, VRare Store. Check them out for all your Funko Pop, anime, Pokemon card, and toy print needs. And of course, use code CoolFigurez at checkout for 10% off your order. VRare Store, check them out, guys.